Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the 10 Count Podcast brought to you by BodySlam.net. Excuse my non-mic and my weird background. I am in the middle of a move, and welcome to our Wednesdays, our start to our Wednesday tour for the 10 Count Podcast live on X, YouTube, everywhere that we go live. We got a fun episode. We got predictions. We got Showdown last night. We're going to talk about that, but also, if you watched on Tuesday, our boy Justin had a nice interview. Do you want to go into that?
Yeah. Just before we get into that, this is bringing me back to when your computer absolutely shit out on you.
Yeah.
And you were broken Taipei for like three or 4 weeks of the podcast. But yeah, at least it's just for a move and it's not an actual broken computer.
Yeah.
But yeah,
power supply is working still.
But I was able to sit down, commissioner, ring announcer, analyst, everything. Jason Solomon came on the show. Super busy week for him, obviously preparing for, in my eyes, one of the biggest House of Glory shows ever. This card is just stacked from top to bottom. We'll get into predictions for that. I will be in attendance on behalf of Body Slam. I'm hoping you will also be with me. Fingers are crossed still. That's up in the air. But I will definitely be there in attendance on Friday night. I cannot wait to be there. Do, socials for Body Slam. We'll do a review show afterwards. It's going to be incredible. But yeah, what a great guy. I mean, his podcast has been going for 16 years, I think. Like when you think about that, like that's insanity that he's been podcasting before podcasts were even really a thing. So just what a great guy. Phenomenal dude. Can't wait to meet him on Friday. And like I said, just can't wait to go to this show. Incredible. I can't wait to go.
Yeah, and I kind of want to start with our predictions for the show. In the New York City Arena in Jamaica, New York, like it's, used to be in my backyard. It's in your backyard. And like you said, it's that card. You have Killer Cross, Matt Cardona. You have the Hardys, maybe collecting more titles for their Infinity Gauntlet of Tag Team Championships. Bear Bronson's going to be there. Cool. I want to go because I want to meet the man in person. He was a great interview. He's a great person. I love what he's doing right now. So it'd be awesome to meet him in person. But let's go with that first. We have Zilla Fatu versus Bear Bronson for the Crown Jewel Championship. I mean, this is tough, but I mean, Zilla Fatu's a beast, but Bear Bronson has been on a tear through his Bear Summer of Violence, as he quoted on his Instagram. And I gotta go with Bear, man. I can't bet against the man. I want him to have some gold around his waist, especially in the form of the Crown Jewel Championship. I think it'd be an awesome moment for him, especially to knock off Zilla Fatu. So, man, I'll put all my chips in Bear's card right here.
And here we go again with me saying that I'll never pick against a Long Islander, fellow Long Islander, friend of the show. So Zilla just recently won that Crown Jewel Championship back from Bully Ray in quick fashion in Philadelphia, where right by you. I think Jason said he beat him in like 20 seconds or something like that. So as much as I want Bear to win, I don't know if Zilla's going to drop it that easily and that quickly, but for the shits and giggles, I'm going Bear Bronson. Let's go Bear. I hope he wins. The guy, what else can you say about Bear Bronson? So Team Long Island through and through. I hope the Bear fall of violence starts off with a bang. He grabs a Crown Jewel Championship in House of Glory Wrestling, and we get on the way.
Yeah, I want it, man. I want that so bad. Let's talk titles versus titles. We have the Hardys versus main event. We're going to get into it a little after this prediction show, but the Hardys just collected a few more championships around their waist. How do you see that one going?
So Jason, when talking about the show, he brought up the Hardys and how they have a busy week. And then I said, hey, if the Hardys win the NXT titles, could we possibly see those championships at House of Glory? And they won. You know, they defeated Dark State. They are now the NXT and TNA World Tag Team Champions, along with four ropes tag team champions as well. I think that they're on another expedition of gold. I see it being that way. They're bouncing around. They're on top of their game again. I love to see it, and I feel bad for main event, man, because I think they're dropping those HOG World Tag Team Champions. I think we got the Hardys, boys. They're just too good, man. They're just on a roll. They can't be stopped right now.
No, and I would love it if the match against Team 3D, the Dudleys, would be for all their championships. Just throw them all up above the ring. I know it's not a ladder match, but showcase those above the ring for that tables match, and let them fight for all four championships. Because what's up?
Well, it's now confirmed that it's also for the NXT titles.
It is. Okay.
Yes. So it was just TNA, and then Bully Ray said something, and then it was just recently confirmed that Team 3D versus the Hardys will be a tables match for the NXT and TNA World Tag Team Championships at Bound for Glory.
I mean, I feel like that kind of seals the deal itself too. I mean, this is going to be a championship match between the Hardys and the Dudleys, so they're not dropping this match. They're going to add these HOG tag championships around their waist. They're going to start looking like Mercedes Moné, and they're going to win maybe 5 more tag team titles throughout the world and just start that reign. But I'm excited, man. The Hardys are really showing some real perseverance, in the later part of their career. It'll be super awesome to see them win a bunch of these championships and even hopefully knock off Team 3D in the tables match. Randy, howdy, thank you for tuning in as always. We appreciate you. But yeah, I'm really excited for that match. The Hardys have really been putting out, and I just want to see them have a glorious time at the end of their career. We got the Women's Championship. We have Indy Hartwell versus Zadea Steele. I mean, Indy, I think she's got this one in the bag. I feel like this is a nice defense for her. Especially after leaving WWE, showing up on TNA. I think she's showing some grit. She's showing some power, really coming into her own. She's showing WWE, in my opinion, that they should not have let her go. So I think Indy Hartwell is the end still out of this one.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Indy retaining. Zadea Steele, she's been phenomenal on Evolve and with the WWE ID project, with the Vanity project. But Indy's Indy Hartwell, man. And she's just been, like you said, ever since her WWE release, she has been more motivated than ever. She's going around all the indie promotions, Indy. Yeah, I know. I get it. But she's just collecting all these women's championships. Now she's in TNA. She's going to go for that TNA women's championship. So we'll see what happens, but I don't see Indy losing on Friday night.
So now we have the quote unquote dream match between Leon Slater and Amazing Red. How do you think that one's going to go?
I mean, Jason really, Jason said that Amazing Red really wants this match. If you go back to the early days of TNA, he was one of the founding fathers pretty much of the X division.
Yep.
So it's legacy versus this new up and comer, the youngest X division champion of all time. Leon Slater is just on another level though, man. It's tough to bet against Leon Slater, especially seeing him. We'll get into NXT TNA Showdown, but he was the one that pinned Javon Evans. So right now, if it's between you and I think he might have the upper hand going into Bound for Glory in that title match against Javon Evans. But Leon Slater, man, this is going to be our second, well, hopefully yours as well, but our second time seeing Leon Slater in the past few months, which is just awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to win too. I think it's going to be a passing of the guard kind of moment. I mean, the match, I guarantee, is going to be stellar. 4 or 5 star match right there. Easy. Leon Slater is definitely the future. They are putting all their eggs in his basket. And I mean, getting the pin on Javon Evans, that's huge because look at the star power Javon's had on NXT. Taking Obafemi to his limits, in that main event picture with Trick and Oba. I mean, the dude's a stud. And for Leon Slater to get that pin over Javon, and I can't wait for that match to happen for the X Division Championship. I honestly think that Leon might, take that too. And, rightfully so. The dude's freaking amazing. I can't wait to see what his future's like.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And then another, I'll actually start this next one. We have the HOG World Heavyweight Championship. We have Charles Mason defending it against Man Like DeReiss. They just had fought in Philadelphia. Man Like DeReiss is the Progress World Champion, and it was title for title. They went 25 minutes and a banger. Unfortunately, there was some outside interference. There was a disqualification where the titles did not change hands. So, Commissioner Solo Monster said, you know what? We are going to have a no disqualification match, and this HOD championship will be defended again. So we have Man Like DeReiss versus Charles Mason, no DQ. In my eyes, I've seen what Charles Mason has done in GCW in these types of matches. I gotta give the champion the favor here, and I think we might see End Still.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think End Still. I think we're putting him in his playground, and I think everything kind of bounces in his favor in this match. So yeah, I think Mason comes out and still champion. And then finally, we have Killer Cross, Matt Cardona. I mean, do we see the Righteous? Are they gonna rear their heads? Which would be freaking awesome. I mean, that's when we saw, Matt. I mean, we didn't see him then, but we also saw them show up against when it was Cardona and Shotzi. Do we see Shotzi show up? I mean, I want that whole group of them just to be, just circling ringside during this match between Killer Cross and Matt Cardona. I mean, I'm amped. I think Killer Cross is gonna just feed on Matt Cardona in this one, but don't count out Cardona, man. I know we were talking Long Island. He does have a match next week against why am I blanking on his name?
Josh Briggs.
Josh Briggs, thank you. And I hope he wins that one, man. I love that segment between him, Ava, and Briggs when Briggs broke in and he just sat back. I think Killer's going to take this one, but I think we might see a nice win on NXT for Cardona next week.
Yeah. So you kind of said what I wanted to say. Jason did say there's going to be more matches. It's not the full card. There might be some surprises. I'm with you, brother. I'm really hoping we see the Righteous come back out. They've been on this indie tour. You saw them come out to help Killer Cross. They had a moment in the ring over in Seattle. I'm hoping we get another moment in HOG. I'm hoping. I think Killer Cross is going to win, so that's my prediction. But I think Cardona is gonna have some stuff up his sleeve. You know him on the indies. He loves to try to weasel his way in and out of things, and we've seen them doing what they do. This is what Cardona does. This is what Cross does. They build up online, and that's why I think this match is just so perfect. Especially after seeing Cross really re-debut into the indies at GCW Homecoming, going and attacking Cardona to help Shotzi. I don't know how it's going to get done, but I got Cross winning, and I'm hoping we'll get a surprise during this match.
Yeah, I want the surprise so bad. I hope I'm there for it. That would be epic. It'd be nice to even be around if the Righteous to show up around 3 people we've interviewed in the the past 3 months, and just even to even thank them for the the time in person. It'd just be awesome. So if I don't go, Justin, I'm gonna be very freaking envious of you. But make those connections. Get Cardona, get Zilla. I want to talk to them on the pod. Get Indy. It'd be awesome. Even maybe the Hardys, man. We'll prop them up with all those championships behind them and have a nice conversation with the one of the best tag teams ever. One of the GOAT tag teams.
Yeah, no, this Friday it's like, listen, you and I, we went to cover TNA Slammiversary. Was super pumped for that because that was our first time really media access. But this is just, I don't know, this just feels different.
Yeah, it does.
This just feels different just because of like what you said. We've had the privilege of interviewing Bear Bronson. We've had the privilege of interviewing the Righteous. So it's kind of like, I don't know, it's different. Like, especially now that we've made these connections with these guys, and I don't know, I just, it's going to be cool. And
Yeah.
I really do hope in the end, if it's just a glance, a glance in the back, walking by each other, saying hello, just thanking them for coming on the podcast, that right there would make my day.
Oh, yeah.
But we don't even know if the Righteous is going to be there. So
Exactly.
yeah,
We can
so
speculate.
I'm going to speculate all I want. I don't know. I swear to God, I don't know. I do know Bear Bronson's going to be there, and he's going to win that Crown Jewel Championship from
Hell
Zilla.
yeah.
But other than that, it's just pure speculation. And yeah, man, I cannot wait for Friday. If we'll move past this in a second. If you're not in the New York City area, well, if you are in the New York City area, there are limited tickets available. I highly suggest you grab a ticket. I've never been to a House of Glory show. I am super amped up to be able to cover it. I hear the atmosphere is insanity, so I can't wait. And if you can't make it, it is available on Triller TV. So regardless, I'm usually a big WWE guy, but if you have to choose between some programming on Friday night, I think the Blue Brand is going to take a back seat and get DVR'd. You
Bro,
got
the Blue Brand's at 8 a.m. on Friday. Don't
Oh
worry
my
about
God,
the
it
difference.
is. It is at 8 a.m. on Friday. Holy shit. I forgot about that. Well, regardless, if there's still something else you want to watch Friday night,
Don't do it.
yeah, I highly suggest it. It takes a back seat, and you go on Triller TV, you get House of Glory. With glory comes pride, because it's going to be incredible.
Yeah, I mean, if I can't go, I'm buying it. I'm watching it. I can't wait. It's going to be super exciting. Let's segue into the showdown last night between NXT and TNA. I mean, we kind of had the feeling it was going to be a split card between TNA and NXT, which you were the correct one out of the batch. I was incorrect. Let's just talk about it, man. I liked it, but I also wanted, as we spoke about, the respect to get thrown out the window a bit, and it kind of didn't, at least between Santino and Ava. Like, I wanted them to leave that episode ready to raring for war, and maybe we'll get that eventually. Maybe I have to be patient and stuff, but it was weird that they kind of just peacefully, respectfully were like, okay, we had our matches, let's move on. I do like that they're still bringing the matches in, right? Like I said, Cardona and Briggs next week. And I just want the roofs to get blown off both those companies and just the brawls to continue. And that's what I want so bad.
I'm with you. Yeah, I when it comes to expectations, we spoke about it last week, right? Was it what I expected? No. Like, were there the major storyline twists and curves? No, there weren't. But as you said, I think we just have to be patient. I think they ended the show with that, with Santino and Ava talking to each other on purpose. There was a reason for that. Them showing respect to each other. Ava extending an invite to all the knockouts to come to NXT next week for that battle royal to crown the next number one contender for the women's championship. So I think it's going to get there. I think Bound for Glory is going to be a major part in this whole storyline with the showdown and the NXT versus TNA. I believe we get a lot there. And then, like I said, TNA is confirmed to have shows at there. So is there going to be an actual takeover eventually? I'm hoping soon enough. NXT crossed out with TNA written on the graphics and everything. I think that would be awesome. It was a fun show. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed the hell out of it. But was it everything that I wanted? No, but I guess, like you said, we just have to be patient.
And how'd you feel about, you said it perfectly last week. There needed to be involvement with Joe Hendry, with Jordan Grace, and they end up being, the special guest referees. Is, that the capacity we were hoping for, or not really?
No, not really. And even though, like, even when that was announced, I was kind of hoping that would, in my head, when I'm fantasy booking, that would be where Joe Hendry's about to count 3 and then he stops. Something like that to show his alliance with either TNA or NXT. We didn't get that. Both Jordan Grace and Joe Hendry called it straight down the line. Besides, Jordan Grace pulling out a yellow card and a red card and ejecting people. I don't know. It was fun. It was a fun time. But no, it wasn't what I wanted. But I'm hoping that their involvement still, because they are the main two that are between both shows, there has to be a twist or a turn, either at Bound for Glory or somewhere later down the road, that will really get the ball rolling with this storyline for me.
Yeah, I agree. And I did love that they started with the Hardys, versus Dark State. I mean, what a way to get it going, to stare down with the Dudleys. I mean, that match, since Dark State was banned from ringside, obviously they kind of beat that a little bit by doing a little jumping beforehand. Smart by them. Good job, Dark State. I did not expect that. But we kind of knew what the end result was going to be. That, as we mentioned before, that Dudley match, the tag title match, for the tables tag title match was going to be for championships, no matter what. So I like that they started that off. The crowd was hot for the Hardys. It was really fun. And then also, dude, freaking Ethan Page, Mustafa Ali, like, what a banger. I was going through a little rabbit hole, as you may say, about Mustafa Ali and how he just has like this luck going against him, and he has to change his luck because we saw, the wire from the headsets wrapped around his leg that kind of screwed him out of winning the North American Championship. And I kind of like that. Maybe we do see that. Maybe we see Mustafa like starting to change his luck around because he has this, jury cloud over him that's kind of holding him down from winning these championships in these areas that he wants to. But shout out to Ethan Page too. The man is just does no wrong. I mean, we both called it. We both had a feeling Ethan was gonna retain, and to me, man, that was the match of the night for me. I loved every bit of it.
Oh, by far, dude. And that spot where he had the wire wrapped around his leg, he looks down at it and he just got chucked off the top rope, dude. I was like, holy shit, like what the hell? Like, is he dead? So I mean, dude, Mustafa Ali is a worker, and there's just no other way to describe him. I do hope once this run with TNA is over, fingers are crossed that he somehow comes back to WWE and he gets what he deserves, because the man is an incredible worker. And like you said, Ethan Page as well, those two just meshed so well together in the ring, and the story that they were telling was incredible. By far my favorite match of the night, just like you said. Incredible.
Yeah, and even that suicide dive through the ropes like that, he went like over the freaking announce table, dude. Like, that was hard hitting. It was fast. I was like, dude is just, I feel like this match he had a big chip on his shoulder, and not a bad one. The one where, he got fired, about to have a match against Dominic Mysterio for the North American Championship, and got replaced. And this was his time to show like this was going to be the match I was going to give you back then, and you're going to enjoy it and be like, oh shit, we might have messed up on this one. And that's the message I got, man. Like, he did not hold back. I mean, like you mentioned, the chemistry between the two. I think that man's got a very bright future. The stuff he's doing in TNA already is amazing. We saw him put down Moose at Slammiversary. So like they really are high on Mustafa Ali, and rightfully so. I freaking can't wait to see what he's got coming next.
Oh, yeah. And you know what? Like, this is a little off topic, but I did see a report that quite a few TNA talents' contracts are up after Bound for Glory. So I'm I'm curious as to know which contracts those are, and if those contracts instantly go and sign a WWE contract, and then that's where we can start seeing some of the turning, per se, like, oh, team TNA, and then boom, team NXT signs an NXT contract like right there or something like that to show their loyalty or allegiance. But yeah, I'm curious to see if it comes out which TNA talents contracts are up right after Bound for Glory.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. And who knows if they're going to make that switch, because, with this partnership, maybe they can sign a year deal back to TNA and kind of just, play along with that storyline they have and that partnership they have. And then when that contract ends, they can be like, all right, I showed what I can do. Maybe I can, slip on over to WWE full time. I was bummed that Jada Parker was the first pinned in the women's match. I was very upset about that. But overall, it was fun. I like that JC stole the win at the end and was all happy and hugged Sol Ruka, even though that, I forget what her finisher's called. She almost missed it. They still sold it pretty good. But I just love that JC tagged herself in mid finisher and finished the pin. I think that was a perfect way to end that match.
It was it like you just said, it was the perfect finish. You have JC. I mean, Sol Ruka hits a phenomenal soul snatcher. I still don't know how she does that move. I still look at it and I'm like, God damn, and she just does it in all these different spots, which is just absolutely incredible. But yeah, she was caught off guard. But then you kind of, when they were celebrating, you had JC and Sol all with their titles on the apron, and they kind of just like looked at each other, and Sol was like, all right, whatever, we won. But just what a weaselly way for JC to secure that victory for team NXT.
Dude, I always pick her wrong. I'm always wrong with JC Jane, man. I am always wrong. But yeah, I just had a feeling that Team TNA might have, came out on top of that one, but I was wrong, man. I just seeing inspiration back in the WWE ring. It's really freaking cool. Just the whole aesthetic. Like, I just wish, like we both mentioned before, there was a little more animosity at the end. But how'd you feel about Trick showing up with jerseys and then walking out?
It's Trick Williams. Like, I feel like that's just who he is right now, man. Weird, but like I said, like, if there was any way for anything to happen, like, I thought maybe Trick would turn, but he's already heel, so it's like, is he gonna turn on Ricky even though he's already a heel? Like, it exactly. That made no sense to me. So the walkout was, I guess, the best way to go about it. Yeah, that's Trick Williams, man. He doesn't want to deal with Santana. That's it. He wants to just wait until Bound for Glory to have that match with Santana, and until then, he doesn't want to be near him. So he walked out. He said, "Screw it. Like, Ricky, you're not the captain. I'm the captain, and screw it. I'm walking out."
Yeah, the big C and the little C on the jerseys was
hilarious.
Comical. And the 6'7" for Javon Evans was funny as hell. Miles Bourne, I was just happy for him to be in that match. He looked ecstatic to be a part of it. Even in the, that segment when Trick was handing out the jerseys, you could just see he was super grateful to be in the spot that he was in. And he deserves it, man. I want to see more fallout from this. I hope Trick comes out next week and is like, if I was the actual captain, we would have won or something like that. Just pull some bullshit that we all know Trick's capable of. But to me, I just would have loved the defector angle in that match. And, we didn't get that unless they try and, turn it into that. But I can't see that with Trick. I think Trick is NXT, full blood NXT. And I can't see him ever making that defect.
And I'll tell you what, Miles Bourne will not beat the Randy Orton lookalike charges, because my God, when he did the power slam, then he just did like the little shimmy that Orton does, I was like, dude, what? you are like, everyone says how you look like Orton and whatever, and it was just Randy Orton Jr. right there, dude. I was like, my God, you're cut from the same cloth.
Yeah, I think he was embracing it. I really think he was embracing it. Let's get into Crown Jewel. We have SmackDown on Friday, 8 a.m. We have Crown Jewel on Saturday at 8 a.m. And we have Monday Night Raw at 8 a.m. All from Perth, I believe. I think they're all from Perth, Australia. I will be up watching all of them. I told my coworkers on Monday that if I'm late to work, it's because I'm watching Raw and having my cereal before I come in. I'm excited, man. This card is shaping up to be something special. I'm excited to see John Cena and AJ Styles. I'm excited that they have this match on the card. This is one of the matches everyone was wanting to have for one of John Cena's retirement matches. And I have a feeling Cena's going to win, especially after taking that beating from Brock Lesnar, unless Brock shows up in some capacity and kind of screws John over to set up a second match, which I don't think we necessarily want or need, but I can see that happening because I think they want to resolve that Cena getting decimated during his retirement tour. Or maybe they'll say that Brock's not happy with Cena still wrestling and he wants to retire him. We'll see that kind of bullshit. But I think John and AJ are going to put on a clinic. I know they're a bit older from the last time they wrestled, which was freaking phenomenal. Not to be punny, but I can't wait. I think they're really going to show out. I think AJ has a little bit something to prove too because he's lost a bit. He lost to Dominic Mysterio. He's been on the losing side lately, and this is a high profile match. And I think this could put AJ back on the map too, especially in the main event scene. So my prediction, John Cena wins, but I can't wait to see how this one turns out.
So you mentioned Brock Lesnar. I think he might be in Perth, but I think he might be there for a different reason. I think he is done with John Cena. I do agree with you. John Cena gets the victory. I think these two are going to go all out. We've seen Cena going all out with all his most recent opponents. The guy's on a roll. It's like vintage Cena. So, I mean, they might do callbacks to their old matches a few years ago, which I can't wait for. This match is going to be incredible. I can't wait to see it. We've seen AJ Styles showing him being fed up, whether it's a work or not. And now he's getting this match with Cena in Perth. And like you said, it's going to be phenomenal. I can't wait to see it, but I got John Cena finally getting back in the win column, and he's going to defeat AJ Styles.
So let's go into your hypothesis for Brock Lesnar, because I'm assuming the match you're going to refer that to is the Tribal Chief versus the Tribal Thief.
No, it's not.
Oh.
No, it's not.
I'm curious to know about your prediction or your spoiler per se.
Yeah, hey, it could be a spoiler. No, we'll get there when we get there. Sure. But as for the Tribal Thief versus the Tribal Chief in Australia, so it's awesome for Bronson Reed to get this moment against such a big name in Roman Reigns in this Australian street fight. I think that is what they're calling the match stipulation. This one's tough for me. So Roman obviously picked up the victory over him at Clash. I don't know if I see it happening again. Like, I don't know if this is where we're going to get Roman. Like, Roman went away. Obviously, they beat him down after that match in Clash. Does Roman have to go film Street Fighter again? I don't know. Are they going to beat him down again? I don't know. I think we're going to see the Usos get involved in this match. It's going to get a little crazy. I truly don't know who I want to say, because I want to say Bronson Reed in Australia. I feel like he needs the victory. But then just thinking about what's going on with the Usos and Roman, I think we could see something there. But how do you bet against the Tribal Chief? You just don't. That's just a simple way to win a prediction against Roman Reigns. It's just you say his name and you'll win. But with that said, I think it's going to be a big night for the Vision. So I'm going to go with the Tribal Thief, Bronson Reed, defeating the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Roman Reigns to come out on top. I think if Roman didn't get beat down and stretchered out by Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, I think that might be a different story for this matchup. But I think the field's kind of equal for the sense if Jay's going to be in Roman's corner. I don't know. You don't know about Jimmy, right? Because Jimmy's got a little animosity towards Roman right now, especially with how his brother's acting. But Seth's not showing up in this match. He's got the full focus on his match with Cody. He will not be making an appearance. They're going to separate Seth and Roman anyway. So that's why I thought maybe Brock might show up in this capacity. Then I kind of have a feeling of what you're alluding to. I won't say yet, but I kind of feel that Roman's going to come out on top. To me, he's kind of cooling off, especially being away from TV for a bit, taking that beat down. I mean, he's putting Jay in the forefront right now. He's not going for championships. He's kind of propping Jay up in this moment. So to me, I think Roman's kind of taking a cool down at this moment. So I think that if he loses, it might diminish him a little bit. So I can't see Roman losing it. We got Christopher. Hey guys, I'm a huge fan of the show, and I feel Bronson Reed win this match, and they're going to build towards War Games next month, and the Vision needs to look stronger. Hey, that is an awesome prediction. I mean, I feel like Justin's right there with you on that prediction. It could happen. It definitely could happen. I obviously Roman can bounce back from that. He can take a loss, but I feel like more times than not, WWE protects the hell out of Roman because you never know when the fans are just going to kind of like turn that back. So who knows?
Yeah, I'm going to pull up Christopher's message here again, and thank you for tuning into the show. It's just thank you for being a fan. I'm with you, man. I said I think it's going to be a huge night for the Vision. We're going to get into the what I'm assuming is going to be the main event. I think we might see someone, and you said War Games. November is next month. You have to start building those War Games teams, and I think one's going to be the Vision Heavy with the Beast. So, yeah. I mean, let's continue on, and we'll get to where we're going.
Yeah, I'm going to go into the Kabuki Warriors versus Rhea and Io Sky. I mean, this has the potential to be match of the night. Asuka right now is on a whole different playing field. I love the centipede that goes across her face. I love when she takes on like these full heel personas, the things she does to change it a little bit, to get a little more creepier, to get a little darker. And it's super fun. I like the anger. I like how she's kind of, pulling Kairi Sane around. It's cool because you can see the confliction in Kairi's face and in her actions. The whole dynamic of the Kabuki Warriors, including Io Sky, is so compelling right now, and it's a great freaking story. I mean, this is, the apex of WWE right now, in my opinion, especially Monday Night Raw. I love tuning into Monday Night Raw to see what's happening next. You throw in Io, you throw in Rhea, you got the Kabuki Warriors. I mean, this is going to be a blast. This is a tough decision for me, and I kind of want to put the win on the Kabuki Warriors. I think the cards are in Rhea and Io's favor, obviously, but I can't see this story going away yet. And I think if Rhea and Io do win, I think it's an easy way to kind of slip that under the rug. But if Asuka can, and Kairi can knock off both Rhea and Io, the two biggest women in wrestling in the past, 2-3 years, I mean, it's huge. And I think Asuka deserves it. Kairi deserves it, especially with her in and outs with injury. So, yeah, I'm going to give the win to the Kabuki Warriors.
All right. I was not seeing that on the hold on, Zach. Happy National Bring Your Teddy Bear to Work in School Day. Shout out to
Don't
you,
make
Zach.
me run upstairs and go grab a teddy.
I see. I'm on Team Australia here, so for me, it's gotta be Rhea. It's gotta be Io. And you're right. Like, where does that lead to after this with the Kabuki Warriors if they're already gonna lose to those two? But the eruption that Rhea Ripley is going to receive in Perth is going to be second to none. Like the roof might actually get blown off the damn place. So I can't see. I just can't see it. I cannot see Rhea Ripley losing in Perth. So for that matter and that matter only, I'm going with them. I'm going with Io Sky and I'm going with Rhea Ripley.
It's fair. We've seen Rhea defend successfully against Nia Jax in Perth. Perth has seen her win. So I don't know, man. I feel like she might be able to lose this one. I think the crowd would go crazy, give crazy heat for Asuka and Kairi if they were to win. I think
it's true.
It's perfect. I think that can go nuclear for them. So I don't know, man. It's tough. Part of me really is holding on to Rhea and Io winning, but a little light at the end of the tunnel is making me look at the Kabuki Warriors. So I'm going to go with them.
Christopher said, if Kabuki Warriors win, then you can set up the women's War Games match with Team Rhea versus Team Asuka. Another great point. So I'm like so focused on the men's War Games match that I'm not even considering that those might be the two team captains for the women's War Games. So I could absolutely go that way. But Chris, that means you'd be agreeing with Ty. So for that reason, you're wrong.
Or he's right.
Or he's right, and I am just an asshole.
No, I think your predictions are better than mine. Like your record with predictions is definitely better than mine. Like if I could take an AI tool, because I don't want to go through all of them, and just have it go through all of our episodes,
our all-time record.
Yeah, and just pull up an all-time record. Like maybe I'll train an eye just to do that so we can find out, because I'm very confident. You probably blow me out of the water.
I don't know about that. I truthfully don't know about that. You and Court both had me on, I think, at least to my recollection, like 2 or 3 times. I know I did go perfect one PLE. I don't remember what it was, but I think it was like SummerSlam 2 years ago where I went across the board perfect.
Yeah, you did.
But yeah, I mean, I just, you got to think long game. That's why if WWE ever wants to just hire me, I see that they're trying to get a different creative mind in there. So I'm right here.
Why not bring the 10 count in? I mean,
hey,
come on.
Let's go.
All right, let's what do you want to dig into first? Do we want to go for the women's or the men's crown jewel?
No, you got to go women's first. Just save the main event for the last.
All right, let's dig into it. We have Tiffany Stratton, Stephanie Vaquer going head to head for the crown jewel championship. We have the brand new women's world champion versus the longest reigning champion in WWE right now, Tiffany Stratton. I don't know where to even go with this one, because obviously the company is very high on Stephanie Vaquer. They put the fucking rocket on her back in NXT, and the moment she came to Monday Night Raw, they put the rocket on her back as well. She is an international star. The people love her. But at the same time, Tiffany Stratton has been dominant as champion. I've counted her out a few times, and she has shown resilient, super entertaining. I mean, to me, this is kind of a dream match in my eyes. And I don't know, man. I think just because Tiffany has been the longer reigning and more dominant champion and the veteran champion of this match, I think she might come out on top and become the second ever women's crown jewel champion.
Yeah, I gotta go La Primera. And Christopher is also going Stephanie Vaquer. Wins this match, Tiffany can go on to feud with Julia. I just you look at the momentum that Stephanie has right now. Like he's like they're putting a lot of eggs into the basket of Stephanie Vaquer. I feel like something can happen where Tiffany gets sidetracked or just has a different side quest for some reason. I just don't see Stephanie Vaquer losing this match for some reason, and it won't be Tiffy time. That's just as simple as that.
Yeah, I think it's a good possibility. I might be overthinking my guesses because I'm trying to piece things together. But yeah, I think whoever wins, you can't go wrong. I think they're both super deserving. Stephanie Valkyrie is just getting started. Tiffany's been putting in the work for the past year and a half, 2 years, especially as, Miss Money in the Bank. These two both have such bright freaking futures. So whoever wins, well deserved. But prediction based, I hope it's Tiffany Stratton. So now we have the match number 4: Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, mano a mano, champion versus champion. Cody Rhodes is a former and first ever Crown Jewel champion. Will he have a second ring on his finger, or will Seth Rollins prove that he is better than Cody Rhodes? What are you thinking, Justin?
So, to me, the finish of this match has been being teased over the past several weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, whatever, however long it is. Once we saw Brock and Paul talk to each other backstage, and Brock said, "Hey, we should talk." That's where the light bulb went click, and it just started all making sense to me. You see, Seth is just caught up. You look at Monday Night Raw. You have Becky Lynch like pacing around backstage, like just bitching about whatever she was bitching about, and Seth's just like not even paying attention to her, just looking down. And then he just says, "I need to win this match. Like, Paul, I need to win this match. What happens if I don't win?" And then that whole thing got really tense really quick. I love seeing that. And then at the end of the night, Paul said, "Don't go after him." Seth went in for the stomp. He gets reversed. The teases are there of this not going the way it's supposed to for Seth Rollins, and there being a breakup or a combustion of the vision already. But I don't see that happening. There is a mastermind in the Oracle that is Paul Heyman. And for that reason, I think he's going to call upon a beast. I mean, Cody's undefeated against Seth Rollins in all these big matches. Seth has always come up short. Seth needs this victory. He needs this Crown Jewel championship. And if Cody loses, he's not going to lose clean. Let's just put it that way. It's going to have some sort of interference, I believe. And he's not losing his title. So, I mean, you see the Crown Jewel championship once a year. They don't even walk around. Like, you literally only see it at Crown Jewel. So it is like the most pointless title there ever is in WWE. But for me, you're going to hear the beasts, or I don't even know if you're going to hear his theme. I think he might just appear, and he just goes crazy on Cody, and Seth just gets this maniacal look in his face. He starts laughing, and he defeats Cody Rhodes. He becomes the new Crown Jewel champion. And now here we go. Here comes November. Here comes Survivor Series. Here comes War Games. And you're going to have a team of the Vision, Brock Lesnar. I said it on another show. I said it on Najee's NXT show. We haven't seen Obafemi in a while. We might see Obafemi on a team at War Games versus just a super team. Cena, Cody, Roman, and the Usos. And that is my War Games prediction. That is where I think it's going. And there you go. That's what I got.
So where do I start? So I agree and disagree with you. The one thing that kind of throws at me for a loop with Brock is the last time we saw Brock and Cody in the ring, Brock showed Cody respect. And I know you can throw that out the window, but to me, that would make no sense at that point for Brock then to rehash some kind of feud with Cody, because they kind of, they went there 3 matches. Cody won the rubber match. He got the respect from Brock. To me, that's just, I don't know. I feel like it'd be a little bit weird. It's not weird for Brock, but just the story for me at that point would be weird. The other thing that I kind of see happening is Cody mentioned a bunch of times in his promos that you have not beaten me with help. Don't try and, take the easy way and try and beat me with help. And that's where I think that's still, that's going to happen. I always think that's going to win with help. The stakes are there They put the stakes on Monday Night Raw, as you mentioned. Paul said you can't lose. Seth said he can't lose because he will lose the vision. He will lose the backing of, his team. And we're not going to see that. This team's running wild for a little bit longer into War Games, right? And to me, I believe Brock will be a part of the War Games team for the Vision. But when you say the Usos are going to be in that match, I think one Us will be in there. I think it will be Jay. But to me, honestly, man, I said it last week. I think Obafemi is going to be on that face team to counteract Brock Lesnar. That's how I see it going. I think they need to bring in, the big guns, which would be Obafemi to go against Brock. I could be very wrong. You might be right. They might be stacking the cards with Obafemi on the Vision squad. But that's to be seen. But my prediction, I agree. I think Seth Rollins wins. I think he wins in a non-clean way. I think he gets some help or some distraction of some sort. Maybe it is Brock. Maybe I am completely wrong. But yeah, I think Seth becomes the crown jewel champion this year.
Just to finish up, we have Christopher saying, how about this? What if we see the return of Braun Strowman, with Bronson saying to Roman on Monday, you remember the last time you were stretchered out? Christopher, I like the idea, but I think that might be a long shot.
Yeah.
I think Braun is off doing his own TV show. He's doing something. But I see that to be a long shot. I think Braun is enjoying his time away from the ring right now, and he's off doing whatever else he's doing in TV. But Ty, I don't know if I said he's going to be on the Vision team, but I do think Oba is definitely going to be involved in War Games. I think after hearing you say it, I like your side better, because that's just going to skyrocket Oba even higher than he was in NXT as a face of the company. Or he could become a massively big heel. I don't know. Well, it's yet to be seen. I think we're going to see Oba appear within the next few weeks. And hopefully that prediction is what we get for War Games, because that War Games match would be a doozy.
It would be.
But with that said, we are at the 52-minute mark. Thank all 288 now of you that have joined us for this live prediction show on a Wednesday. It seems like you might have gotten our memo last week that we are turning over to Wednesday nights now. Shout out to Christopher for chatting along with us. We love the interaction. Thank you for being a fan of the show. We appreciate you more than you could ever imagine. But let's ring that bell, because this podcast is over. Thank you all so much. Please go subscribe to the Body Slam Patreon for exclusive breaking news, interviews, podcasts, and more. $5 a month, well worth it. Like I said, every single episode, the guys are just churning out news left and right. Ty and myself, whenever we're getting an interview, it's up on the Patreon first, so you get to hear it, listen to it or view it however you want to, or however you enjoy your podcasts. It always goes there first, and then it goes live on our YouTube. Please go give us a subscribe or a follow on all social media platforms at the 10 Count Pod. I believe we're at 77 subscribers on YouTube, so we're climbing. We're getting there. But thank you all. You can go follow Ty on X at TLP_maximum. I am at JStar02 on X. And until Sunday, hopefully we will have a show. I know Ty is still doing this whole move, so
should be good. I should be good for Sunday.
All right, so we should be good for Sunday. But until Sunday, Ty hopefully will be there. I will be at House of Glory this Friday night. Cannot wait. It's going to be an incredible show. If you're in the New York City area, once again, go get your tickets. Limited tickets still available. If not, make sure you go and purchase it on Triller TV. You're not going to want to miss it. Until then, it is Ty, it is Justin, and we are out.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you.